All right, guys, and we are live. 9 game slate to talk about here on Wednesday. I like this one. There's going to be a few popular plays. I think there's obviously some ways you can get different for tournaments. And it's a good size slate. I prefer the medium size 6 to 10 game slate. So, yeah, I'm pretty excited for this one. It was a solid night for me last night, so hoping to keep that going. But yeah, guys, this will be a Q&A live stream. So basically, leave questions in the chat. I'll do my best to answer them. News-wise, we're still waiting on a decent amount of stuff. I think one big piece of news we got a little bit ago was the Whiteside news. Obviously, he was going to be relatively popular, so he's out. We got Dame out for 6 to 8 weeks for Portland. Obviously, they're out in slate tonight. And we just get that starting lineup there for the Magic. Okeke and Robin Lopez both starting, so kind of what we expected there with both Mo Bamba and with Wendell Carter Jr. out. But yeah, guys, if you do enjoy the free live streams, the free videos on YouTube, just make sure to show some support. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and hit that notification bell just so you do know when I go live in the future and I upload videos. But all right, guys, let's get into it. So again, questions in the chat. I'll be happy to answer them. I'll be live for a good 30 minutes here. Let's see. Schroeder still solid without Smart if he starts. Pritchard. And do we have Pritchard news yet? I think we're still waiting on that, right? He's still questionable or did we just get news he's in? He's available. Okay, so I guess I missed that news. We'll see what they do with the starting lineup. If Schroeder starts, I think you can feel pretty good about him playing closer to that 30-minute mark. If Schroeder doesn't start, that's where I would be a little bit worried. Okongwu still solid value starting at the 5, Collins in. Yeah. I mean, Okongwu played huge minutes last game with Collins in. Wood only 6,800. I think Wood looks pretty good. I think that Spurs Rockets game looks pretty appealing. Two teams that play very little defense, two teams that are not great just in general. So I think the game stays competitive. Now, the tough part is we got to keep an eye on the Spurs value. If I had to guess, I would say they're in with 3 guys, status up in the air. Haven't gone to Kuz all year. I swear if I go to him tonight, he busts. I mean, you know my thoughts on Kuzma. I am not on Kyle Kuzma. He's going to be overowned like he was last slate. Last slate, he was 20%, which is just way too high. You have Thomas Bryant there. He's not going to go for 20 rebounds again. This team is a lot bigger now. Like Kuzma's getting back up 5 run. That's why he had like a 20 rebound game. You have Gafford healthy. You have Montrezl Harrell healthy. You have Thomas Bryant healthy. You have Rui Hachimura healthy. So no, I will not be going to Kuzma. And if he gets there for the Kuzma people tonight, I will be in an incredible, and I mean an incredible amount of pain. Comfortable going to the late night hammer, even with all the nuts going around. Comfortable going with. You mean the Bulls game? I mean, there's question marks in it, but like if everyone plays, I don't know if there's one play that stands out in that game. Still like the Spurs value. It depends on those questionable players. Again, if I had to lean, I would say they end up playing, which would make me not like the Spurs value. Just wanted to give you a shout out. 8x my money last night. Thanks to the Patreon player. Oh man, hey, that's great to hear. Congrats, David. Hope to keep it going here again tonight. If the Denver game was better last night, it could have been a really big night for myself too. But yeah, glad you had a really good night. So does Utah go small? We'll see. We have to keep an eye on. I think Norvel Pelle could pick up the start here for Utah. I mean, this is a huge front court, right? So he's questionable though. It's illness. It's not COVID illness. If I had to guess, I think he plays because they need him, right? Bolden's not on this roster. I hate how Draftkings, has guys that are not on the roster in the player pool. And the only other really big they have is Eric Pascal. And he's like an undersized big, right? I think he's like 6'8". Like he's not a true center. But if Norvel Pelle's out, I would guess Pascal would start, which would make him a really good value play. They could technically go small ball with like Royce O'Neal. But like, again, this is not a team you can really go small against. Cleveland has like 2 centers out there at all times with Love, with Mobley, with Jared Allen. Like Lauri Markkanen's like 6'10" and he's playing the 3. So it's going to be really interesting. But yeah, I think Norvel Pelle picks up the start. Either him or Pascal is my guess. So we'll keep an eye on news there. Okeke, Martin from Miami, Lonnie Lopez, or Schroeder. Some of those depend on news. I'm not really interested in Miami from Martin. They're getting healthy. Gabe Vincent back. Lonnie, if all the Spurs guys are out, I think my answer would be Lonnie Walker, but we don't know that news. So yeah, it's really hard to say. Schroeder, we don't know for sure if he's starting. So like, there's too many question marks for me to say for sure. 6 to 8 weeks, yeah. So we're gonna see. It's gonna be Anthony Simon season for a little bit here. I think CJ is coming back relatively soon, but it's Simon season for a bit for sure. Question: do you make it a point to put out at least a player or two in the hammer games? No. If like the late night hammer is not an appealing game, no. I mean, obviously, like it's nice to have a player in the late night game. I would rather have a late night player in the game, but I'm not going to go out of my way to do that. Schroeder or Maxey? That's a good question. If Schroeder starts, probably small lean there, but I think both look pretty good for cheaper end guards. Melo popped up in the injury report, take a shot in THT. I mean, you can go to THT. Okiki will be relatively popular. I have a hard time trusting what the Lakers are going to do. They just have so many guys that they can eat minutes, so you would think THT gets more run, but they could also give more run to the dust of Trevor Ariza. They can dust off Wayne Elling. Like, they just have so many guys that can play minutes. Would you at 7 or Pirtle? It's a good question. I don't know if I have a good answer for that. I like them all. I don't think I have a good answer for that one. Thoughts on Okiki? I think is a relatively safe value. Downside is ownership should be pretty high, but I think he plays over 30 minutes. He's a guy that can contribute in a lot of different ways. And without Bamba and without Wendell Carter Jr., I think it's going to be Cole Anthony, the highest usage, then Franz Wagner, and then it might be Chuma Okiki, third highest usage player in that lineup. LaMelo going to be chalk? No, I don't think so. I think LaMelo's a good tournament play. The Hornets are always a team I look to for tournaments. Whereas when the 5 Pell's out, they could start Eric Pascal at the 5. Kuz crushing out for sure, yeah. How do you feel about a big 3? How do you think a 3 big build of Okongwu Lopez? Yeah, I think it looks good. Cody Martin. Okay, is that the Martin on Charlotte? Whichever Martin's on Charlotte, I have more interest. Yeah, so the Charlotte Cody Martin I like better, or the Charlotte Martin I like better than the Miami Martin. So I'd rather go to the Martin on Charlotte. Thoughts on your 7 and Maxey? I think your 7's going overlooked today. Whether Dedmon plays or not, I'm not super worried about your 7's minutes. He's been phenomenal, and I think I think there's other centers in that range that are getting a lot more ownership. So I like your 7 quite a bit for tournaments. Maxey, I think, is super safe, assuming no limitations. Yeah, I think Okiki's a safe value. Only downside is will be popular. Noel playing? Okay. Well, I swear he's been questionable for like the last month. So that's good to know. Markkanen 7 foot. Is Lauri Markkanen 7 foot? Yeah, they just have so many bigs. Jang playing now. Okay, let's see. Let's just update that, or let's refresh here. So I don't think Gorgie Jang playing is really going to do. I mean, I don't think Okongwu plays 38 minutes, but he's still going to be projected for a really good value. I don't think that I think they still start Okongwu, but okay, let's see. So Gorgie Jang available again. Noel play. Todd Gibson will play. That doesn't mean anything. Kemba out. Okay. So yeah, no real big news there. Fox, Wood, Lowry, Allen, or Halliburton. I'll say Wood. RJB, so is that Barrett or Burks with Kemba ruled out? I mean, Barrett's been playing better of late, but I'll take the discount on Burks. I don't love either. Do you like Quickly? He's fine for tournaments. I think there's better guard plays in the slate. Mo Wagner for sneaky. I think Mo Wagner is kind of sneaky. Now, the minutes I have no confidence in, right? So, like, it's a pretty big risk. But, okay, so you look at this roster, who's going to play the backup 5, right? Washington's now a pretty big team, right? They have Gafford, they have Harrell, they have Thomas Bryant, they have Rui. That's a pretty big team. When Robin Lopez moves to the bench, who's coming in? Probably Mo Wagner. So I would think he's probably getting mid-teens minutes, maybe a little bit more. And Wagner, Mo Wagner is actually relatively productive on the court. So I think he's a sneaky tournament play. No, I wouldn't touch Harrell on cash. Because I don't know if Thomas Bryant's going to play at all at the 4, if he's just going to play at the 5. It's going to be a 3-headed center rotation like it was last year. Is LeVert in play? No, I wouldn't go to LeVert. Balance or stars and scrubs build? I think you could go either way. There's enough value to get stars and scrubs. I don't know if there's one clear path that I'm like, oh, this is definitely a stars and scrubs versus definitely a balanced slate. Guys, again, if you're enjoying the content, make sure to hit that like button. We're at about 100 concurrent viewers and 20 likes. Appreciate the support. Fave stud to pair with Murray. DeJounte Murray? Is that who you're talking about? I mean, if you're playing DeJounte Murray, I don't mind running it back with like someone on the Houston side and hoping the game turns into a shootout. Any Tatum or Brown love? A little bit. Like one of those guys probably has a good game, but I have a really hard time getting to either one with confidence if you're a single entry player. If I was an MME player, then it would be pretty easy, right? I'll sprinkle in a little bit of Tatum, sprinkle in a little bit of Brown, but it's hard for me to go to either one of those guys with confidence because, how it's been really when they've been healthy is usually one of those guys has a good game, but it's kind of hard to predict who it's going to be on a night-to-night basis. Yeah, Pascal's like 6'5". Yeah, he's an undersized big, right? Embiid or LBJ. I think LeBron's a little bit safer, but both are in good matchups here. He's a good player, but he would get killed by most power forwards and centers. Yeah. Favorite 5K underplays? There's a lot. I need Merritt to Luka, Randall pairing. It'll be a low-owned pairing. I don't know if that game, is going to be played at a super fast pace, but, both have upside. Randall's pretty cheap. Jared Allen in play. Yeah, I think so. Utah is thin in the front court, so Allen should be able to dominate the glass. Do you like Murray at all if players are back? Yeah, I don't really think Murray's going to look a little bit better if all those guys are still out. But even if Derek White's back, even if, it's Keldon and who else is it? It's White, Keldon, Vassell. Even if they're all three back, Murray's still going to be the guy, right? So, what it would do would be, it would take the value out of play for me. But I would still have interest in Murray if those guys are in. Thoughts on Garland? I think he's a viable contrarian play. Tough matchup for him, but he should play big minutes. Whiteside out. Yep. We had 90 watching. Who we have 50 likes? Hey man, that would be greatly appreciated. Luka or Embiid? That's a good question. I think the matchup is a little bit better for Embiid, but I think it's easier to get to Luka if that makes sense, right? Because center's loaded today. So what is the opportunity cost to go into Embiid? Even though Embiid looks great, there's a lot of a lot of cheap centers now on the slate. There's a lot of good plays in the mid-range as well. So straight up, I think it's Embiid, but taking the position into account, I think it's Luka. Luka going off in the Garden. I think Luka, I don't think he gets a ton of ownership, so I have interest there. 7.5K and below forward for tournaments. All right, let's take a look. 7.5. I'll say Bridges. Yeah, 7.5 and below. I'll say Bridges. The minutes were pretty secure for him with Oubre out. He played 41 last game, so I think Bridges is where I go there. Dinwiddie, Schroeder, Okeke Okongwu, Pirtle, Murray, Kispert, and Embiid. I think it's solid. Kispert's one guy that, the minutes were actually, what did he play? He played, didn't he play almost 30 minutes? Yeah, I played 29 minutes. I think he's fine. I never have I don't feel good inside playing score-independent players, but if he's going to play close to 30 minutes again, then it's totally fine. Would you go to Azubuike? He's out. Udoka Azubuike? Yeah, unless we just recently got news, he's out. Yeah, he's in the health and safety protocols. Did he test out? Did we just get that news? But yeah, I'm pretty sure he is out unless we just got news that he's out of the protocols. Yeah. Okay. Randall, yeah, Randall, you're buying low on it, right? I think this is the lowest price in Randall we've gotten this season. So, the positive is the minutes will be there. He had a bad game last game, and I don't think the ownership's going to be high in him on a slate like this. So, I think he's kind of a sneaky play. I don't think he's someone that I'm, really confident in. But, again, ownership I don't think will be high. What do you think about Dennis Schroeder? Yeah, good question. I think if Dennis Schroeder starts, he's a pretty good value. We do have Pritchard back. We do have Josh Richardson. So they have other options they can go to. But if Schroeder starts, I think he plays over 30 minutes. If anything, that helps Murray assist numbers. What, if you mean the other guys are back? Yeah, I think so. And be going to tie a team record for consecutive games over 30 points. Yeah, he should be able to smash. I love targeting bigs against Hornets. Happy Kyle Kuzma day. No, so no. Please no. Could go Mo Wagner instead of Kispert? I think Kispert is safer. Safer for the fact of the minutes. I do think Mo Wagner's kind of sneaky, but they really don't want to give him minutes. They can go to a Freddie Gillespie. He can play minutes. It's just again, Wagner I think plays mid-teens minutes off the bench, but my mistakes with Jazz Center. Yeah, I think Norval Pell would start if he's available. If not, I think they go to Pascal. You think LeBron will be low owned? No. I don't know if he's gonna be the absolute chalk, but I think he'll get pretty decent ownership. What's your thoughts on Josh Green? Is he trending as sneaky value For the Mavs, yeah, I'm not really looking to Josh Green. I know he's been playing more minutes of late, but I don't really trust it. So yeah, not really for me there. Sabonis still solid. I have a hard time going to Sabonis with both guards in. Finding myself no real lean between him and BWJ and Durant, kind of hoping broken guys out. So the broken guys went through shoot around. I think they play. Josh Richardson, viable. I think he's a decent pivot off of somewhat chalk Schroeder if he starts. Thoughts on Dinwiddie, Cole Anthony, Lonnie, Okongwu, Lopez. Okay, yeah, I mean, it's a decent build with Lonnie Walker. Keep an eye on the Spurs news, though. Robin Lopez. I think Robin's a solid value. I think he plays 30-ish minutes. I think he's a good value. Cole Ant, Lowry, Fox, Garland, or Dinwiddie. Okay to fade Embiid with center value we have? Yeah, I mean, that is why you would not play Embiid is there's a lot of good value centers, and there's a lot of good centers in the mid-range. So, again, opportunity cost there. Who to go to? Schroeder isn't starting for a similar price. In the guard range? I mean, are we talking just in the guard range? Let's see. I mean, you can look to Lonnie Walker if the Spurs guys are out. I think he would be pretty good. So, that would be like my initial lean if Schroeder doesn't start, but obviously, again, we need to keep an eye on the Spurs guys. Yurtseven and Maxey or Lopez and Brogdon. The first one by a pretty wide margin for me. Robin Lopez is good when he gets minutes. Yeah, I mean, he's pretty high floor. Like, he's a decent rebounder. He's got that hook shot, which is like automatic bucket whenever he gets in the paint and does that hook. Brown has been de facto point guard lately. Triple-double candidate with no smart. Jaylen Brown? Yeah, I don't necessarily agree with that. I think, one of Brown or Tatum can have a good game, but yeah. No, Brogdon I'm not really interested in. Hardaware bench game. I mean, with Luka playing, it's hard for me to really go there with confidence. He can have upside, but he's got to hit his shots. Yurt-Goat, aka Yurt-7, and no-go with Dev. No, I think Yurt-7's still viable. I think he still starts. I think Yurt-7 has shown he is better than Dwayne Dedmon at this point in his career. How much is Jane being back hurt Okongwu to you? Not much. I think Jane gets some backup 5 runs, so I think Okongwu goes from like 38 minutes to maybe 30. 3K bargains, Dinwiddie, Levine, Kuzma. So you can go here. If Tristan Thompson is out, you can go here. Namus Kieda, I think that's how you pronounce his name. Played 24 minutes, played the backup 5. The Kings have shown they just don't care. They're going to run a big out there no matter the matchup. So I think he would be an interesting punt play if Tristan Thompson's out. He played the backup 5 over Len. Holmes is out. He's in the G League, so Holmes is not playing. Day'Ron Sharp season? Yes, if Claxton is out. But Claxton went their shoot around. Three best 5 to 6K forwards. Okay, let's see. 5 to 6K forwards. 5 to 6K. There's not a lot that I like. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I don't think there's anything that I like in that range. If I had to pick, I would say Alec Burks. Sean Tate and Barnes, but I don't like anything in that range. Embiid, Kuzma, or Murray, Tatum. Again, I'm not really high on Tatum. I'm not really high on Kuzma. I do like Murray. I do like Embiid a good amount. I'll say the second one. What would you do if Kuzma was a 10K player? Would be the biggest cross-off. Would not even consider. Hey, DK, do you think if Kyrie, Tar, and Claxton play? I think they play. They all went through shoot around. Lopez, Pascal, Kiki, or Len. We need to see some starting lineups here, so hard for me to say right now. I think Lopez, we know he's starting. Okiki, we know he's starting, so those two are the safest. Kevin Rose out. I mean, quickly he's a fine secondary play, right? I think he plays mid-20s minutes, maybe a little bit more if he gets hot. Last game, what did he play? 25 minutes. I think we're getting mid-20s minutes from him, maybe a little bit more if he does play well. Dedmon in. Okay. All right, guys. I'll be live for another 5 minutes here. So any last minute questions, throw them in here. We're at about 120 concurrent viewers, 40 likes. Again, appreciate all the support. Dinwiddie, Burks, Okiki, Okongu, Robin Lopez, Luka, Randall, and Pirtle. It's a contrarian lineup. I don't think those spend ups get much ownership. Kispert, Randall, Orlani, and Bridges depends on the Spurs news. So second of the Spurs guys are out. Levine 7.2, okay. That's on FanDuel, right? Isn't Levine really cheap on FanDuel? Yeah, I mean that's a great price on FanDuel. Key to close over Len, curious who starts. I would assume Len starts if Tristan Thompson's out. Yeah, of course. Of course, Ryan. Happy to help. Murray's still good play. Yeah, I think Murray would still be the guy. Murray and Pirtle would still be fine. The rest of the value plays would be hard to get to. When doing your lineups, are you medium, high, or low on your correlation? Like, playing guys together, you mean? I mean, sometimes I'll game stack, sometimes I won't. Do you think Durant and Irving combined for more raw points than Levine and DeMar? That's a good question. I don't have a good answer for that. Good luck, TK. Won $400 on a $5. Hey, man, I saw you had a really big night. Aaron Gordon smashed. Now, Aaron Gordon tilted me a little bit because I had Jokic and Monte Morris, but really happy for you. That's a big night. You deserve that. How do you feel about Spider Mitchell tonight? He's in play for a contrarian option. Does not stand out to me. Is Buddy Hield a good play? He seems, if you're a big narrative guy, Buddy Hield seems to always smash against the Lakers. So, yeah. Yeah, like for example, like I would consider, a Spurs Rockets kind of stack. How crazy you want to get is up to you, but like there's been situations where I've played 7 players in one game before. So, you're kind of putting all your eggs in that basket, but like if a game shoots out and you have a lot of exposure to it, yeah, you can have a good night. So, I don't know if there's necessarily a trend for me for when I get more exposure to like one game that I do better. But yeah, there are definitely times where I get a lot of exposure to one game and kind of correlate. KD over under. I think I would lean under because I'm pretty sure Kyrie and Harden play. I think Christian Wood seems a little bit too cheap. I think he looks good. Yeah. Okay, let's refresh Underdog one more time, see if we got any more news. Okay, guys, any last minute questions? Again, really appreciate you guys coming and taking time out of your day to check out the live streams. Let's see, anything else? Oh, and if you guys are coffee drinkers, make sure to check out Roast Umber, new sponsor. You can use my code DKDFS and get 20% off your order, and the first 25 people get a 1-pound bag of coffee. So I have info in the description below. But yeah, super excited for that one, guys, and it's really good coffee. Let's see. You really don't like KD? Well, I just think Kyrie and Harden play. So, yeah. Of course. You think LaMelo Ball will be big? I mean, so like, I like LaMelo for tournaments. He had a bad game last game. Price dropped. He has 60-plus fantasy point upside. Rozier took over last game. The tricky part with the Hornets is like trying to figure out who it's going to be, right? So, I would, at the price points, I feel better about LaMelo than I do Rozier because Rozier is at like a high and LaMelo's at like a low. So I would rather try to buy low and hope it's the LaMelo game this time than try to, ride the hot streak with Rozier at an all-time high price. All right, guys, well, I'm going to call it on that. So good luck tonight. Hopefully we see some big winners, and I will see you guys back here tomorrow.